What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Raising Humans Together. Today, we are talking about something every parent needs to teach their kids, and that is what to do when stopped by the police. This is not one of those conversations we need to wait on. Of course, you should know that as a parent. This is real life conversation. This is a safety conversation. This is overall a wisdom conversation. Because the truth is, a lot of our kids know phrases like, know your rights, but they do not always know what that actually looks like in that moment. They do not always know what to do with their hands, of course, what to say or what not to say. And they do not always know how fast things can get worse if they panic, argue, or move wrong. So today, I want to break this down in a plain and simple way. The goal is not to teach our kids fear. Of course, that's never the objective. The goal is to teach our kids calm, wisdom, safety, and self-control. Because when stopped by the police, those first few moments matter. They definitely matter. So we're going to get into it. The first thing you should do is stay calm. Please teach your kids to stay calm. Do not panic. Don't start moving all fast and reaching around. Don't start acting nervous or extra. And I know it's hard because, again, we're dealing with law enforcement. I totally get it. I totally understand. As someone who's been in law enforcement going on 22, 23 years now, I still get nervous when I'm pulled over. And that's just a reality. So um, I want to teach them from experience just to be calm. When you're calm and you're thinking with rationale, is always a safer way. If you are in a car, pull over safely. Please just pull over. If it's at nighttime, turn your dome lights on. You want to make sure the car is well lit inside. Keep your hands where the officer can see them, preferably on the steering wheel. If you are on foot, keep your hands visible and stay still. I think a lot of problems start because a person gets scared. They start moving too much or talking too much, reaching too much as well, or acting like they're about to run. That is not the time for all of that. Please remain calm and slow yourself down. Please stay calm and slow down. This next part is simple. Do not run. And you'll be surprised on how many kids I come in contact with. And I'll ask them, hey, if the police came or stopped you, who would run? And you will have a lot of kids raise their hand to say they would run. And I'm like, why would you run if you haven't done anything? It's clearly going to make the situation worse, of course. And it's just not the advice that we want to give our kids is to run. Most of the time, it's pretty much an admission of guilt if you run. So why would you run if you haven't done anything? It's 2026. There's cameras everywhere. And we'll get into that. I'm going to teach you all on what to say on how to prepare your kids if they feel they've been mistreated by law enforcement. And again, that's why we're here. We're here to grow together. We're here to help one another out. And that's what it's about. So do not run. Do not resist. Do not put your hands on the officer. Do not turn the stop into a wrestling match or a shouting match or a roadside debate. It's not the time for that. Even if you feel like the stop is unfair and you did not do anything wrong, if you feel like the officer is wrong, that is not the moment to fight it physically. You handle that later, and we'll get into that. You handle it with a lawyer, you handle that in court, and you also handle that through the proper complaint process. It's different avenues that you can go through. But right there, in that moment, your main focus needs to be on getting through that stop safely. That's the main focus at that time. Now we will cover, if you're driving, on what you may need to do. If you are driving, of course, and you get pulled over, do what you're supposed to do. Please pull over safely. Turn that dome light on. If it's dark, you want it well lit, keep your hands visible. And when asked to provide your license, registration, proof of insurance, and let me say this too, y'all. It's not the time to start arguing the ticket on the side of the road. If the officer writes the ticket, take the ticket, please. If you feel wrong, fight it in court later. It happens. The tickets get dismissed. Do not make a simple traffic stop bigger than it has to be because you want to prove a point right there. It's not the time and place for that. That usually don't help anyway. It usually makes things worse. So please, just abide by what's going on. Take your ticket. The next, do not talk too much. This is a big one because a lot of people incriminate themselves as well. And a lot of our kids and a lot of adults too get nervous and start talking way too much. They start over explaining or they start giving excuses. They start volunteering information nobody even asked for. They also start talking themselves right into more trouble. And of course, sometimes the best thing you can do is just be respectful and stay quiet. Yes, you have to answer the basic questions. Those are required. Yes, provide identification if you're driving, but do not feel like you have to fill every second with talking. Sometimes the best move and the best option is silence. And it also shows wisdom. Sometimes, of course, less is better as well. And the more you talk, the more you can hurt yourself. So again, I'm just giving you guys some gems, some tips on what to do in an interaction with law enforcement. And this one is also an important one as well. If the police want to search, stay calm and be clear. You have that right. If they're trying to search you in your car or your person, one thing young people need to know is this. You can calmly say, I do not consent to a search. That is your right. But let me be clear as well. That does not mean the police will stop. Just being honest with y'all. That does not mean they will not search anyway if they believe they have legal grounds. But it does mean you made your position clear. And with cameras rolling, that may be something that may be beneficial for you later. Or if your attorney finds that the search was illegal, that could be in your benefit later as well. In making your position clear, that matters. What you do not want to do is physically fight the search. You don't want to do that. Do not start pulling away. Do not start resisting. Do not start arguing aggressively. Please don't start reaching or turn into anything physical. Be clear, be calm, and try not to escalate the situation. Now, if you are stopped on the street, think before you speak. If you are stopped while walking, same thing. Please stay calm. Police may ask your name. They may ask, "What are you doing?" These are common police questions. They may ask, "Hey, based on a complaint, a description, or because something happened nearby, this is why we're asking for your information." And this is where our kids need to think carefully. Do not be disrespectful. Do not be smart with your mouth. Do not act like your attitude is going to help you. And overall, I keep bringing this point in. Do not resist, y'all. It's not worth it. If you are being detained, which in most states is 60 minutes off of probable cause or reasonable suspicion, or if you're arrested, you can ask calmly what is going on. But again, do not turn into a scene. Please, ladies and gentlemen, because a lot of times people hurt themselves most when they talk too much or move too much and their emotions take over. Now, let's shift gears to if police come to your door and ask you questions as well. I want to give you the basics on that. This is another one that our kids need to know and our families need to know as well. If the police come to your door, ask to see a warrant. You have the right to do that. And if they give you a warrant, look at the name, look at the address, look at what the warrant says, and look at whether it is signed as well. So that's something that a lot of people don't realize as well. Ask what they're there for. You have the right to ask that. Now, generally, if they do not have a warrant, and there is no emergency, you do not just have to invite them in. You don't. Those are your rights, especially in your home. But again, that is why people need to stay calm and pay attention. If you are hysterical and you respond out of pure emotion, that definitely can cloud your judgment and mindset. As mentioned in previous vlogs, this is where I over E comes in, intellect over emotion, which I've coined the formula of life. If they do have a warrant, read what that warrant covers. Take the time, read it. If property gets taken, ask for a receipt. They should have a chain of custody process and a nomenclature where they provide an itemized list of what the things they have taken are repossessed. And if you object to search as well, say it clearly that you do not consent. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, let's discuss the possibility of you being arrested. Always ask for an attorney, ask for a lawyer. This is one of the biggest parts right here, asking for that representation. If you are arrested or taken to the station, remain silent and ask for a lawyer. That's it. That's it. That's the main thing that you have to do. Parents, please teach your kids to definitely call you. And that's one of the first calls you should make, or ask for representation, whether that's a public defender, if you have your own family attorney. These are some of the things that you should do as a parent to teach your kids you have rights and your kids have rights. Sit there, try and explain your whole side. Do not try to talk your way out of it. Do not start making excuses or start guessing. You don't want to assume as well and just start telling stories. Ask for an attorney. You can give your basic identification. Ask for an attorney, please. Um, it's some things you may not even know. You may be in a situation where your friends did something and you were with and you had no idea. Don't matter. Ask for an attorney. That's what I've always told my son, is to make sure he let them know, hey, I'm gonna need to call my father because he's going to call an attorney. I got nothing to say. I don't know what's going on. And that's it. Very simple. I do teach them as well to be respectful and give them the basics. Ask for, basic identification information if they're asking for that: name, date of birth. But beyond that, this is where our kids need to understand. Stop talking. Make sure you let your parents know and ask for attorney and wait. Just be patient. That one decision alone can keep them from making a bad situation worse. Another important thing that we must teach our kids, and I keep mentioning it: stay calm. I know this is hard when you're upset, and again, emotions are running, but you have to remember details, and the rest can handle itself later. You can't remember things if your emotions are involved, because you're just not in that right mind space. And if something about that stop felt wrong, do your best to remember the details so you can have them for later. Badge numbers, officer names, patrol car numbers, witnesses, what was said and what time it happened. All this stuff matters. Remember what you can, not in the middle of the stop, not while emotions are high, and not while tempers is up. You can handle all that later and handle it the right way. So when you have a clear mind and a calm mind, you can rationale better. Your intellect of emotions, of course, you're always going to think and process things better. So please, I over E, intellect over emotions. Lastly, a recap of what we just went over and what our parents need to be teaching our kids. We need to be teaching our kids to keep your hands visible. Do not run. Please do not run. Do not resist. Do not touch the officer. Do not argue roadside or over talk. Try to stay calm. Do not panic. If you are arrested, ask for an attorney. Ask for your parents, ask for an attorney. If searched, stay calm and clearly say if you don't want to be searched, do not consent to search. If driving, have your license, registration, and insurance ready. Parents, our kids need steps and we got to provide it for them, because under pressure, people do not rise to what they heard one time. They fall back on what they practice. So parents, practice with your kids. Role play is very important. Walk them through it. Let them know what to do if they are in a car. Let them know what to do if they're on foot and they're walking. Some of the things we just covered. Let them know what to do if the police comes to their house. These are things you should be teaching your kids. And most of all, what to do if they're arrested. Because the stop is not the time to be learning all this for the first time, of course. And at the end of the day, safety is paramount. The wisdom that we give them and them staying in control of themselves, of course. When stopped by the police, calmness matters. Please stay calm. Self-control matters. What you say matters. And what you do not say matters as well. So um, please make sure you teach your kids that. And knowing what not to do can matter just as much as knowing your rights. So teach your kids this right now, please. Not later. Let's teach them now. Not after something happens. Let's teach them now. And as always, subscribe to the channel, please. Raising Humans Together. I thank y'all. Appreciate y'all support if you're on here. Uh, for real conversations and practical parenting strategies that can help us prepare and protect our children for the real world. It's been great. It's been fun. See y'all on the next one. Peace.